Morning everyone, hope you're having a good week. I'm reading today from the beginning of my gay romantic comedy, The Hit List. This is a romantic comedy about how not to kill your friends and family. This is the blurb. Jamie Chadwick is straight, determinedly straight, or so he keeps telling himself. His small conference business is doing okay, and even though he looks after his ailing father, he loves living in the countryside and life is good. Sort of. But the arrival of old college friend David Fenchurch, who's just come out, together with Lucy Reed, his father's sexy new physiotherapist, sets Jamie on a path he'd never dreamed of taking. On top of all that, the unexpected return of long-lost family friend Robert Trevelyan, himself openly gay, means that Jamie can no longer ignore the past he's kept hidden for 6 years. When Robert and David get together, Jamie's feelings begin to surface in surprising ways. Who, amongst the crowd of people set to blow his life apart, will make it onto his fantasy hit list? And in the midst of Jamie's own emotional battlefield, how can he keep things together at all? That's the blurb, and this is the beginning. Chapter 1. If Jamie Chadwick had thought waiting at the crowded bar of the King's Head Lime Water for the landlord to finish pulling his pint of Suffolk's best bitter would be the one place he could be safe from his family, for a few moments at least, he was soon to be proved wrong. Father okay then, Jamie? What? Jamie jumped as Michael pushed the foaming glass under his nose and stepped back to admire his handiwork. The landlord repeated the question. Fine, thanks, Jamie murmured. Safely locked up at home where he can't cause any more trouble. This wasn't true, of course. His father could always cause trouble, but it was a good phrase to use when Jamie just simply didn't know how to discuss it. Good, glad to hear it, Michael said. So the doctor put everything to rights, did he? Choking on that first glorious gulp of bitter, he wondered if anything in this village was ever secret. If someone sneezed twice at breakfast, they'd have them in the obituary column of the local paper by supper. Sure, he just had a funny 5 minutes, that's all, nothing to worry about. Or that was what the doctor had said. Michael pursed his lips and nodded as Jamie scrabbled in his pockets for some change. So, you still had time to sort out the problems you were having with that London hotel, did you? Michael went on. Jamie stared at him. How on earth did he know about that? His so-called glittering career as a conference organiser at the tail end of the 20th century meant doing business with hotels that made even faulty towers look efficient, and today had been no exception. After dealing with Dad, it had been anyone's guess whether Jamie would be able to salvage the disaster the hotel had been about to make. This time he'd survived. His father too. But Jamie hadn't realised people in the village had been taking notes. The grapevine, as usual, Michael shrugged as he ran an expert eye over the coins Jamie was handing him. Sure, I got there in time. In the end, the whole day went like a dream. Cheers. He took another gulp of his pint and felt the warm liquid wash away the memories of the long drive home. Good, they'll better let you go, Michael smiled. I'm sure your young lady will be along soon, if that's what you're here for. A joke, of course, but Jamie didn't much feel like laughing. Before he could think of a witty reply, Michael strolled off to serve some of the less patient locals, and Jamie pushed his way towards an empty table in the corner. The landlord had been wrong with his last comment in more ways than one. Tonight he was waiting for an old friend to turn up, David Fenchurch. Jamie? Jamie Chadwick! At the sound of his name, Jamie swung round, as did everyone else. All conversation then stopped, for the figure standing at the door was dressed in an orange shirt, purple check trousers, an emerald dog-tooth jacket and a trilby hat. This couldn't be David, could it? So how on earth did this stranger know his name? And what was he doing here? Before Jamie could shake off his surprise, the vision of colour uttered another cry of joy, bounded round the teenagers leaning transfixed against the bar, seized Jamie in a dramatic embrace and planted a kiss on his cheek. David? Jamie said. David Fenchurch? That's the beginning of the hit list, and I hope you enjoyed that read. That's the cover. Have a great week. Bye.